Welcome to Baggies Out, presented by Cameron Balloons. We are at the 2023 Balloon Federation of America U.S. National Championship, hosted by the Great Texas Balloon Race in Longview, Texas. I'm Deiter. With me is Zerek. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great.
We're currently in pilot briefing, going over the weather and the day's competition tasks. But first, let's get things started off with an interview of Championship Director Sam Parks.
This year in Longview, Texas, there's actually going to be a lot of balloons with three different categories or three different subs. You've got the National Championships, which is going to have 53 pilots. Then the Junior Nationals, which is not a national championship this year because the BFA only allows one sanctioned national championship at the same location at a time. So you're going to have the young guns, which are less than 29 years old, and there's 15 of those pilots. Then there's going to be 10 Great Texas Balloon Race pilots. So essentially, we're running three competitions simultaneously. So like many other places, it loses its steerability as the sun goes higher. Within a couple hours of sunrise, your winds can just go to nothing. And so if you're over some swamp and you lose your wind, well, you're in trouble. So you really want to be off the ground as soon as possible, and then when you finish your last task, try to land as soon as possible. It's all safe, but if you lose your wind, well, balloons need wind to fly. It's been since last June that I directed the Junior Nationals down in Longview, Texas, and so I'm excited about getting back in the saddle. This time it'll be the National Championships, which will be my first time.
We are currently wrapping up the pilot briefing. The weather for the morning looks like it's going to be out of the south and the southwest, going a fairly moderate speed.
This morning we're going to have three tasks and a common launch area. All balloons will be taking off from the same field down at the south edge of the map that you see here.
First, there is going to be a maximum distance double drop, where the pilots need to hit two different marks within a prescribed polygon that's currently on the screen. The greatest distance between marks is best.
Task 2 is going to be a calculated rate of approach task, or a CRT, where there are two available scoring areas to fly to. Only one scoring area is active at a given time, and every 10 minutes they'll swap back and forth. Pilots need to be aware of their launch time and wind speeds to navigate to the active scoring area.
The third and final task of the morning will be a judge-declared goal, which is an X in the middle of a field where you need to throw a 3-ounce baggie with a 3-foot tail onto an X. Closest wins.
The highest you can get for any of these tasks is 1,000 points.
We are currently looking at the scoring areas for Task 2, the CRT. Task 1, the maximum distance double drop, is an all-electronic task, meaning there are no physical targets for the pilots to fly to. We will have the double drop task scores later, but here, Brandon Bloom flying into the CRT right here. Let's see if he's going to be able to get a good drop. We can actually see the baggie falling. Let's see which CRT, if he's going to be able to get in one. He needs to hit the correct X at the correct time and still be within the scoring area.
Looks like it's dropping into the westmost X right now.
Oh, and that's going to be out of bounds. Unfortunate for him. Either that was too far outside of the scoring area, or the baggie was thrown
timing may
at
not have been right.
Yeah, it might have just been thrown at the wrong CRT, unfortunate, or he just went over the wrong one, didn't put enough oomph into the throw. Now, there are things called pool points. If you miss the task or are out of bounds here, Andrew Nell's also out of bounds here, you do get pool points or pity points, so you do not get a 0 on the task. You will be getting, I don't know what the exact equation is, but some amount of points based on the amount of people that missed the task alongside you. Richard Sabin here coming into this task number 2. We can see the marker dropping here. Ooh, and also out of bounds, looks like on that one looks like it just went into the trees.
We're a little bit far, so that could have been in the field, but hard to tell from where we're looking at.
Yeah, Alan Anderson, I believe that is the rainbow spiral balloon right there?
Yes.
All right, here, burning, getting over the target. And we see Jonathan Wright in the mostly black balloon He got a throw, but it was out of bounds as well. And I believe that is Alan Anderson's baggie right there, still out of bounds. Haven't seen a valid throw on this target quite yet.
Chase Donner with a drop.
Ooh, that one's looking good. Hopefully the time is on his side. Oh, and also out of bounds there, so Chase Donner not getting a score. Gary Heben in the star yellow balloon. Seeing a baggie drop. It's still falling. Ooh, and into the bushes as well. Out of bounds for him.
It's a tough target, this one.
Yeah, and scores for task 2 are out. The calculated rate of approach task. Only 2 competitors were able to make it to these hard targets. Nick Donner getting 1,000 points and Joe Herzl getting 980. Every other competitor getting the pool points or the pity points, and 780 each.
Tough time with the first task. Second task.
Here we can see task number 3, the judge declared goal. Your pilot winding up, trying to get into the MMA. So Zerek, what does the MMA stand for and what does it mean?
It's the marker measuring area. So whenever, if it's 50 meters, then the target team will measure out up to 50 meters for any baggies that they can find. So at 51 meters, no dice. You don't get a score on that baggie. So you're dependent on your electronic scoring at that point.
And here we can actually see the measurement team with their long tape measure doing that to make sure that they have a vague understanding of where 50 meters in. Of course, if there's anything that looks close, they will go out and measure that. But this at least lets them know where 50 meters is and if they need to move the X around slightly within the field so that there's no trees or any obvious obstacles within the MMA. So now we are going to see baggies being thrown here at task number 3. Brandon Bloom, once again, the first pilot into the task. He must have gotten off first from that common launch area.
Definitely leading the pack today.
Yeah. You can see him winding up. There are a couple of different strategies for winding up. One is the kind of propeller thing that he did right there, and others is more of a baseball throw, and that is a very good throw to start us off at 2.83 meters. The 1-2 beat right here. So that's Joe Seymour. 2 years ago, he was the rookie of Nationals. Let's see what his throw is going to be. This looks like a pretty good pass for him.
Looks like he's going right over.
All right, maybe a good throw.
4.21 meters.
Yeah,
not bad.
4.21, currently second place, but that's still going to be a very good score for them. Next up is going to be Jeremy Rubin here in the slightly black and blue and green balloon. That's looking like a good throw, 4.02 meters, claiming second place right there. Cameron Wall.
4.58 meters.
Here, Blake Aldrich, 8.64 meters, a good throw for them. And I believe Mark Sullivan in that red balloon right behind Blake, 68 meters. That must have been a digital scoring. There are digital scores in this task. You do fly over and you can hit a button on the Watch Me Fly app that gives you a digital score. So if you are outside of that MMA, you still do get a decent score. And there, Grant Pfeiffer, 41.64 meters inside the MMA. So that's going to be a good score for him.
Here comes Steve Wilkinson in the red and white balloon with the zigzags. Coming in, dropping in a little bit lower to try and make the baggie throw a little bit easier for him.
And it looks like they're going to get a really good pass over this target. One thing to note is the reason that they aren't coming in too low, 2.86 meters. I think that's first place currently. Bill Bussey, 28.32. Pretty decent score for him. One of the founders of the GTBR. But a note about this field is there are power lines on the other side, which is why these pilots are not coming in as close to the ground as you sometimes see on other targets. Joe Zavada, 17 meters, a good throw there. And here, Lucas Hartzell looking to have a really good pass here. Let's see if they're going to get better than that 2.86 meters, which I believe is first place right now.
There's the throw.
Ooh.
6.25 meters.
Just outside the leg of that X. And here, Joe, Lucas's dad, coming in. Ooh, and just barely beating him. 4.91 meters. And Rhett, the three Hartzels, just one right after another. Let's see what Rhett's going to be able to do. Really pulling that top line. You can see.
Big vent, big burn.
You can see the balloons making these shapes, but that's what they're designed to do. And Rhett, perfect throw there. Perfect approach. 2.31. Here's Zerek Wells. That orange or yellow mustache balloon. 6.23 meters. And then a big burn. Closer approach than we've seen some of the other pilots get.
Brett Christian in the yellow, blue, green balloon that you see in the front. 8.91 meters. Nice throw. And then Johnny Petrin with a 3.5 meter throw, which I think that puts him probably in about third place, I think.
Third or fourth, somewhere around there. And as you can see, this round balloon being piloted by Bill Cunningham, one of the only round balloons in the competition, I believe. Everyone else flying some version of a racer. Bill Cunningham flying the round and looks like getting a really good pass right there. 6.37 meters. Not in the top four, but fairly close. Definitely for the first day, a happy score.
Ken Drawn with the wind up and a throw. And 21.73 meters.
Yeah, it looked like the wind took that one a little bit.
Yeah, probably needed to throw a little bit sooner.
All right, and Brad Craig.
He's the green one in the middle there. Leroy Claire's off to the right. And then we have Gary Heaven in the yellow balloon with the star on it.
And all of them getting decent throws here. And that's really all you want here, especially with day one of competition. You really just want to hit all of the tasks, make sure that, you'd love to be on top. But there, Al Neal's 86 meters, unfortunately, outside of that MMA, so it had to be a logger score. But you want to have a good score today, but more importantly, you want any score. It is only day one of competition. Only 3 tasks. There should be many, many more to come.
Yep, you definitely want to start the week off on a good footing, but hopefully we have more tasks ahead, and you're not too worried about it because you have time to make up any points that you've lost for the day. But it's always good to start out ahead.
Absolutely, and we can see here the scoring officials closing down this task. Well, you can see all of the baggies kind of blowing in the wind here. And here, the Task 3 JDG Judge Declared Goal scores are out, with Rhett Herzl winning this one from first place, 2.31 meters, 1,000 points for them. Brandon Bloom in second place, only about half a meter out from Rhett. Steve Wilkinson in tied for second, it actually looks like, here with 0.03. 992 for both Brandon and Steve. And then in 8th place, Joe Herzl, one of the 2 scorers from task number 2, getting 961 points. So it looks like a good day for Joe Herzl. We'll have to see when the first task scores are out how everyone does. And here are the final scores for task 1, the maximum distance double drop. Bruce Wood with a monster score, 8,066 meters, 1,000 points for him. Elisa Taubert, they are 7,847 meters with 816 points in second place. Pretty steep drop off right there. And Matt Fenster in third with 806 points.
Here are the overalls after Flight 1. We have Bruce Wood in first with 2,588 points. Jeremy Rubin in second with 2,530 points. And Joe Herzl in third place with 2,526 points. There's only a separation of 62 points between Joe and first place, so it's very tight with everyone in the points, and it's really anyone's competition to win at this point.
Thanks for watching Baggies Out. Thank you to our sponsors, Cameron Balloons. If you like the show and want to see more Baggies Out content, subscribe to our Patreon, the link's in the description. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't miss out on Flight 2 of the 2023 BFA US Nationals competition. I've been Deiter. That's been Zerek. Next briefing is at 5:45 a.m. See you bright and early.